As of this year, the Toyota Supra name has been around for 40 entire years, and I've actually driven both a first gen and a fourth gen Supra in the past, and today finally I get to share with you my experience of driving a third generation, and not just any third generation, one that the US never got. Let's have a look. So the A70 or third generation of the Supra was around from 1986 to 1993. It had the most updated boxy styling of any Supra before they went to complete round for the fourth generation 1994. In the USA, we only got the Toyota Supra and the Toyota Supra Turbo, which both had a 3-liter inline six, one with a turbo, one without, pretty simple. But in Japan, you could either get a naturally aspirated Supra, or you could get this car, which was the next level up from it, which included a 2-liter inline six twin turbo VVTi, 24 valve engine. Well, for whatever reason, we never got the twin turbo version in the US, but we did for the fourth generation, which doesn't really make much sense. But we never got this one. So this is a 1990 Toyota Supra GT 2.0 twin turbo is what I'm pretty calling it, and it's basically like the luxury trim of the Supra. Even though the Supra was supposed to be a Grand Tourer from the start, and it really was for its whole lifespan, it wasn't just the engine that was different from the JDM Supra and the USDM Supra. You of course had the digital dash, which this one has, that I've never seen in a Supra before, and apparently was never an option on US market cars.
Why is it backwards? Park should be on the left. There's a bunch of things I don't understand with this car.
Adjustable suspension, and some various other options that just never saw in the US. I know, you people are going to get upset because it's an automatic, but really, I've become indifferent to having an automatic versus a stick shift in most of these cars. Most cars aren't really that, bad with an automatic. There's some that are really slow, like, the turbo diesel Mitsubishi van that I drove recently, that was really slow with an automatic. And I'm assuming it wouldn't be as bad with a stick shift. But in reality, it's not like it's that bad because, A, if you have an automatic, especially in a twin turbo car like this, you don't have to let the throttle to shift, and therefore you stay on the throttle and it stays in boost. So you don't have to deal with another, turbo lag whenever you go from first to second or second to third or whatever, which is incredibly helpful if you're trying to get straight line speed down. Of course, with a stick shift, you can exactly choose what gear you want to be in for a turn or whatever if you're road racing, something like that. Automatic's not so bad, which is why the Grand National is probably better with an automatic than the Buick Grand National than a stick shift. Really, the car is actually really fun to drive. But it's kind of crazy though. I drove a 91 Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 recently. That's why I'm basing my opinions on the turbo lag and all that, because it's the most recent turbo car I've driven, and it's also a twin turbo. The Mitsubishi, a lot more consistent power band, I guess, than the Supra. The Supra has a lot of turbo lag. I don't know if it's because it's a small engine with twin turbos or what, but man, the Supra, it's like nothing, and then all of a sudden you have 14 pounds of boost or however much it makes. I'm assuming it's probably more than 14 pounds, because I've driven cars with single turbos, like 80s cars with single turbos that have had 14 pounds of boost or more. The turbo lag is pretty bad, so that's another reason to have the automatic, because like I said, you don't really get the turbo lag and it's not as ridiculous. But other than turbo lag, it's of course it's a very fast car. It only has about 210 horsepower, which isn't as crazy as the 3.0 twin turbo you could also get in Japan, that sadly this car does not have. But it's not really that crazy of a difference, I'd assume. Like the twin turbo, I think had 270 horsepower or something. So it's not like it's, a make or break thing. It could probably use a little bit more power, maybe. Even though this car would spin the tires easily with just the power that it has. And that, of course, is right-hand drive, so normal right-hand drive car things come into play. Being on the other side of the road or on the other side of the car and being confused and whatever. If you'd like a video, on that, let me know in the comment section below, what it's like to drive a right-hand drive car in a left-hand drive country or whatever. I have done it before, but not in depth. It was just my first time of driving a stick shift or a right-hand drive car in the US, or driving a right-hand drive car at all, and I've been a US resident, of course, my entire life. The seats are really comfortable, all of the controls are easy to reach. It's very driver focused, but not so much as the 98 or 94 to 98 Supras, but it's still pretty cool. You got the digital gauges, of course. It's just a nice car to be in. It's definitely a grand touring car more than a really, really sporty car. So anyways, that will conclude this short little review of the 3rd Gen Supra, the 90 Toyota Supra GT Turbo, Twin Turbo 2.0. If you'd like to see more on this car, let me know in the comment section below. I could probably do a full tour or something video on it if you would like. And other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'm out of here. See ya.
In Japan, you can have the high beams on somewhere down there while also having the fog lights on. Why not?